Oh, what up, what up? It's your girl, Davy L. I appreciate you being here. If you're new here, welcome. I appreciate it as well, I have something to talk about. It is vulnerability, basically. I love vulnerability. I'm obsessed with vulnerability. I think vulnerability is so fucking crucial. If you don't believe in vulnerability, I was gonna say I may not be the page for you, but I actually might be, because maybe I'll help change your mind. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, vulnerability is so fucking crucial in this lifetime for every single human being on this planet. Being vulnerable, not only with others, but with ourselves, is something that a lot of us think we do, but we probably don't. And I've witnessed it firsthand with a lot of people that I've had in and out of my life. I would search for vulnerability from them, even from my damn self. I'm not, what's the word? I'm guilty, basically, of ignoring my vulnerability a little bit because I felt like people wouldn't accept it. And so it's like, why the heck would I be vulnerable if people don't want to hear it or they mush it away? And it's like, the fuck? You're not living for people, okay? You are your own best self. You need to be your own best self, right? That's what I'm trying to say. But you know what I mean? Like, you are vulnerable for you. You're not vulnerable because you want people to accept you. And I think that's the part that we all need to really accept. Vulnerability is what sets you free. Without vulnerability, you will feel trapped. You will feel like you're hiding all your life. You will feel like your ego, your toxic ego, is leading your life because you're going to make excuses that are outside of yourself for why you do the things that you do, why you show up the way that you do, and how you are tolerating your toxic ego constantly because you don't want to get to the vulnerable truth of what you're feeling. Woo! I'm getting hyped because I really, really think that a topic I talk about quite often, I know, a topic I talk about often with my sister, just anyone in my life really, is call yourself out. Call that ass out. I did a short about this, so I needed to do a longer video about it because this topic really deserves energy. Call yourself out. When you do something, when you are choosing something, when you're treating someone a certain way, when you're not treating someone a certain way, call that ass out. Yeah, we get embarrassed and weird when it comes to calling ourselves out in front of people because we want to look high and mighty, we want to look like we're always right. Fine, whatever. I do it too. I get it. I've been there. I've kind of outgrown it a little bit, but I have my times. The fuck, I'm human. But a lot of times we'll do something and we're like, yeah, I did that. Yup, that's that. And that's so, whatever the fuck. We're going to convince ourselves, even though we know what we did doesn't sit right, or when we did it, our heart was pounding. We had that tood with that person, but our heart was racing, right? And you could stand on something and still feel bad about it. Yeah, that's vulnerability. You can do something but still feel like, shoot, I wanted to actually be way more mean, or dang, I'm kind of evil because I wished real wrong on somebody. And as much as I know I have the right to do that or to wish that on them, I don't think that aligns with me. I don't think my future self aligns with that type of energy. Call that ass out with love. We're so cruel to ourselves sometimes because we can be so hard on ourselves. It's like, oh, I'm so ashamed. Why would I even feel that way? Because vulnerability can be hard because you're judging yourself. When we judge our own vulnerability, it defeats the purpose. If I'm sitting here being so real and raw, like, dang, the way I just talked to my sister, I know she low-key deserved it, but I don't know, that didn't align with me. I didn't feel right after I did that. Like, my heart's racing. I feel guilty. That wasn't really me. Be honest. It doesn't mean you need to go run to the person and do whatever and do damage control yet. Just be real with yourself. If you're not honest with yourself, how are you going to get to know how you want to act in the situation or a similar situation moving forward? Do you know what I mean? Are we following? Are y'all here with me? Right? Call yourself out so you can get to know yourself. A lot of us are walking around with societal rules or trying to look the best, holier than thou. But that one little dialogue that we have with ourselves could change everything. It doesn't mean you're so horrible for the thing that you did and oh my God, how could you? No, it just means oh, I need to edit. Edit. Act like you a motherfucking essay, okay? You already sent the essay in, but now you're reflecting. And you're like, okay, I know it's sent in. Can't take that back. Okay. But let me grade myself, right? Because we're always waiting for the teacher to grade. We're always waiting for people's reaction to what we say. We want people to validate what it is that we're doing or what we believe in. But we're not getting to know ourselves. So if Joe Schmo responds and is like, yup, that's right, but in your heart, you understand that you don't align with it, that's a disservice. That's a lack of vulnerability within your own self, towards your own self, and all the above. And so now there's a discomfort in your heart, and then you do it again. And again, it's another discomfort's growing because you're not actually facing that void, that heaviness that you feel that's trying to tell you something about yourself, which is typically your soul. That's like, hey, I know you think that this is the right way to go. This is how society is telling you to move, but this actually doesn't make us comfortable. This actually causes true anxiety, true frustration, true sadness, true hurt. You know, a lot of times, even for example, friends with benefits, people can be friends with benefits with ease, but I had to learn that friends with benefits is actually really hard for me. I'm not big with that, especially when sex is involved. I'm a lover girl, I'm a lover girl. I think it's tough for me to stick to that narrative for so long. And so either way, I'm talking about past me, because now sex is a whole different story. That's a whole energy thing. I'm very clear about sex. I don't play about that. That's not something that I'm so light willy-nilly about, right? But past me, I understood that there was something. So already I was connecting to future me, which is like, hey, we don't play about sex, right? So it's a perfect thing, right? Me now, I'm like, I don't play about sex. But then me 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago, even doing this friends with benefits thing with men and messing around and having sex and feeling attached to them, but being like, wait, I can't be attached and I gotta have boundaries and I'm trying to be cool girl and blah, 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 blah. That vulnerability, if I took a moment to be fucking vulnerable, I would understand, oh girl, we're just not good with friends with benefits. He's not a problem. He's not this toxic dude. He doesn't hate you. You just don't align with this anymore. You don't align with these actions, and that's okay, and you have the right. But to amp myself up would mean to go against what my friends are doing, right? Because they're all friends with benefits. Oh, I just want the dick. I just want the dick. You know what I mean? It's cool. Like, hey, I got my little thing. I got my itch scratched. I didn't want shit scratched. Leave me the fuck alone, actually. I don't care for it. Masturbation, all that stuff, I never cared for it. But I would hear people talk about it like crazy and be so excited about it and all that. But that's not something that moved me. And I had to get vulnerable with myself to get honest and be like, oh, I'm not sad. Like, this person didn't make me sad because, they didn't call me back. I actually don't want them to call me back. But my ego is like, how could you not want this punani again? Blah, blah, blah. Whatever the fucking case may be, right? I'm convincing myself that that's my truth when my truth really is, oh, I'm different. My soul's talking to me. My soul's like, girl, we don't do this. And we need to start weaning off of it. Doesn't mean you stop cold turkey sometimes, right? You're learning yourself as you go. That vulnerability will get you there. And so a lot of times when we close ourselves off and we claim that we're so in alignment with what we did, meanwhile, we know what we feel, God's taking notes. I'm sorry, not sorry to get spiritual on y'all, but y'all know I'm a spiritual queen. You're here to learn. You're here to evolve. If you stay the same person, come on. And if who you are, you're so happy with, perfect, fine, whatever. Hey, look. But just get vulnerable. It could be even the smallest thing. Like sometimes I'll even have a moment where at the end of the day, after having a long day, a busy day, I will have a moment to call myself out with love. Call yourself out. I always say, call yourself out like someone you respect. Not, bitch, you're so stupid. It's just like, okay, so what happened today? Talk to me. How did you feel? Someone that you truly respect, high regard. Treat yourself that way. Okay, Davielle, today was a long day. You were around a lot of people. How did you show up? Were you fake? Did you actually want to smile at that person? Or did you actually want to X, Y, and Z? What did you feel about your day, about how you showed up, how you interacted, the text conversation you had? Were you real? Were you honest? That lie that you gave that person, does that align with you? Is that something you want to continue doing? Fine, you did it. Get to know yourself. Was that uncomfortable? Are you starting to feel guilty about the things that you thought at one point was okay? Which, please give yourself grace. We grow up in households that teach us things that are okay, when in reality they're not okay, or vice versa. It's not okay, but now it is. Whatever the case may be, it's just, we're learning as we go. We have to give ourselves grace. A lot of things we're growing out of, but society and the people around us will convince us that this is the way to go. And so now we get in the in-between place, which that's another video I could do. Oh my gosh. In between is the one thing that keeps us trapped the most in this lifetime. Even me, I've been trapped in between many times. I feel one thing and the other. And so now I'm in this in-between place. When I could grow, I'm stuck here because it's this thing where it's split realities, but I won't choose. So now I'm like plateau, stuck, boom, until I fucking make a choice. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to continue to accept these cycles, you're going to stay stuck, because I need you to elevate so I could introduce you to high level, high caliber people, right? So for example, let me give you a real clear example. For a long time, I was like, I could never be a vegetarian. Oh my gosh. Yeah, right. You know, meanwhile, I didn't really care for true meaty things. Like, the only meat I would have is like burger, you know, but the steaks of the world and the ribeye and the blah, blah, I didn't care for that stuff. I just wanted chicken. That's all I wanted. But for some reason, as a Caribbean gal, I could not fathom, see it, understand it, nothing about being vegetarian. I was just like, yeah, right. No way. I stood by that. But I would always talk about it. It's like something I keep saying I'm never going to do. I would talk about it. And I have my moments of being like, vegetarian, curious. And then I found myself, when I was working at Harvard University, there was a Be Good that was near me. This restaurant called Be Good. They don't really have them around anymore in Boston. But anyway, I was working there. I would go there in the mornings and at lunch a lot of times out of the week and stuff. And they would have a lot of vegetarian options. And I would just try a vegetarian burger. And I'm like, this is really good. And so I'm enjoying this vegetarian meal, but I'm convincing myself I could never do it. Mind you, I'm having vegetarian for breakfast because I'm having like oatmeal. They had the delicious oatmeal. Then I'd have like their veggie burger with like sweet potato fries. I would try these really healthy meals and love them, but I would convince myself no. And so I'm a little bit in between, right? Because there's a part of me that's really curious about it, but I keep telling myself I'll never do it. And so now, fast forward to this moment right now, I'm a full-blown vegetarian. I'm 2 years into being a vegetarian, almost 3 years now. Happily, confidently a vegetarian. And I would have never seen this for me. Ask 5 years ago, Davielle, who was eating meat heavily, burgers out the ass, and chicken burrito, chicken this, chicken that. Girl, boy, people. I was going crazy, going ham, right? And there was a point where food started to make me feel uncomfortable, and I would feel this weirdness in my stomach, and I would this, that, and third, because society would be like, how could you be vegetarian? But I was curious about the ones that were. So there's this in-between thing of like, my truth is I'm curious about it. I think I can do it. But society and everyone else is telling me like, no, don't do that. It's stupid. And I finally met up with the future me, aka me now, that's like, we're absolutely vegetarian. And we're cutting out little vegetarian stuff here and there and doing vegan life once in a while. Vegan's very difficult, but we'll see. You know, I'm not going to say never. That's something I'm open to. So it's not really in between. It's when the time comes. If that ends up being my reality, fine. But I also noticed that I'm into gardening and I like things like that. And I'm interested in that stuff. And, you know, my life evolves as I go. And it's just this thing where I can be vulnerable with myself. I can be real and honest about, hey, this is uncomfortable. I don't know if I align with it at this exact second, but I'm open, right? Yeah, I cussed that chick out, that dude out. Yeah, I own it, I this, I that. However, moving forward, I don't think I align with that energy anymore. I don't think that sits well with me, because I see how it can't get out of my mind. Even when I feel so confident, I'm telling people how confident I feel, but in the background, I'm crying. In the background, I'm sad. In the background, I'm just like, fuck, why did I do that? You know, there's this thing where the lack of vulnerability will continue to have us in a chokehold, because we're going to lie to ourselves and consistently tolerate our own bullshit. Call yourself out. The little things. Start with the little things in your day. What did you do? How did you do it? And are you good with how you did it and what you did? Are you happy with how you did it and what you did? That's so crucial, so important, so imperative. Please, I think vulnerability is such a powerful tool in our life. It's what sets us free. It's what helps us get clear about situations. There was even a moment where, You know, waking up early was so tough for me. And I was like, girl, I could never wake up past 5 or, past, even 5, but past 6 a.m. And I wake up at 5 a.m. multiple times a week with ease. And at one point was doing 4:30 in the morning. Do you know what I mean? Like, your life can change drastically if you just open your heart to your truth. Open your heart to what truly matters to you, what you find valuable to your damn self. Fuck what other people have to think. And I know that's easier said than done because we care. Have that conversation with your homegirl, with your homeboy. Kiki, hee hee, ha ha, yeah, that bitch, yeah, that this, yeah, that. Then go home and be like, I don't like how we treated her. That didn't sit well with me. I didn't like that. And so moving forward, I think, you know, maybe if you don't have the balls to like tell your friends to stop, instead you're like, I'm going to sit that one out. So next time when they're teasing someone, I'm going to dismiss myself and walk away because I don't have the guts to tell them to stop and stick up for the person. Fine, you're allowed. But be honest with yourself. You know what? I'm going to back up. You know, even certain habits you have when you're about to do something uncomfortable. Do you start to binge eat? Do you start to put on certain things to make yourself comfortable? Do you start to pick at your nails, like peel your nails, all that? Call yourself out. Hey, all right, we're feeling a little anxious. Even if it's something that you don't think you should be anxious about, still give yourself grace. Give yourself a hug, okay? Be kind to yourself. You don't need to be fucking perfect, okay? I used to think I had to be perfect. That's why I never cared to speak my mind, really, because I was like, well, no one cares and no one's gonna understand me. Who cares? I'm doing it for me. I don't care if you think I'm perfect, if you think I'm this, if you think I'm that. You know, the most thing I had like balls to do really, or vagina to do, because vagina is very thing. I don't know what the hell just flew, but ew. Anyway, but you know, it's just the gumption, the toughness to do certain things. I don't know where I was going with that conversation because something flew and whatever. Anyway, y'all get what the fuck I'm saying. Just choose vulnerability as often as you can and watch. And it's not easy. A lot of us aren't taught vulnerability. I really wasn't taught vulnerability. It kind of came natural to me, truly. And I'm vulnerability queen. I've taught many people how to get deep, how to get raw. A lot of times when we say a story, we'll, for example, say the story very verbatim. Like, yeah, and then she did this, and then she did that, and then she did da. One tool I've given my sister and many people is, okay, I know you just said all that with a lot of gumption, a lot of ego, a lot of sass, period. I'm right there with you. Now say that exact story again, but say it from a place of vulnerability, real and raw, and hold your heart. And that should calm you down a little bit. And if it doesn't calm you down, you just need to call yourself out and be like, okay, I know what the hand on my heart thing is doing. I'm just not ready to feel those feelings. And that way you understand you're avoiding your true vulnerable feelings. And that's your truth. And now when you call yourself out, there's no confusion. You know what you're doing. A lot of times we'll lie to ourselves. I don't know why. I don't know. You're not being vulnerable. And I get it. Sometimes we don't know why. Even me, I always have that moment. I don't know. I'm always fucking asking questions. But a lot of times when you hold your heart and be like, what's going on? What do you actually feel about that situation? You could be honest. Look, I know that the way I handled it, I'm so glad I stuck up for myself, but it hurt me that they did that. It hurt me that X, Y, and Z person actually stooped that low. And it pains me to say, but I may have to walk away from the connection, but I really don't want to walk away from the connection. I really don't want to let this person go when I know I have to. You know, it's like, be honest. That way you can get clear, please. If you can't do it with other people yet, I understand that. Start with yourself. Have those vulnerable conversations. Start daily. You go to the grocery store. How did you feel? Were you fake with the person that was ringing you up? You know, okay, they have self-checkout, fine. But sometimes the helper comes over and say, do you need help? They this, say that. How did you feel? Did you feel confident? Sometimes call yourself out and be like, ooh, I was really anxious talking to that person. Okay, so I have a little anxiety. Talk to yourself, converse, have a moment. Not like, oh my God, I hate people and I hate being outside. That's just that you're covering it up. So fine, if you want to cover it up with fluff, fine. Fine, fucking do it. I don't care. You know what I mean? That's your business. But if you want to get deep, it's, okay. Being in crowded spaces gives me anxiety. And that's something I actually want to overcome because I know that I eventually need to be around a lot of people and you know what I mean? Like, get honest, get real. That is how we can connect and get to know each other. A lot of times we're all, you know, a lot of people are being prescribed. Jesus, can I talk? Yeah. Prescribed medicine and all of that. And hey, look, respect to you. Also, try vulnerability. Be real with yourself. Be honest. Just hold your heart. Get calm. Get real. Take a moment. I'm saying this from experience, okay? That has helped me so tremendously. Even when I'm fearful of things, I really take a moment to think and to process. I've even had someone in my life way back when, they would want attention when they go out, and it was just like this, boom, 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 boom. And they had to call themselves out and be like, oh, every time I go out, I'm looking for attention. I'm actually seeking attention. And it's pulling the attention that I don't want because it's coming from my ego. It's not coming from a healthy place. And so whenever I want to go out for attention, I can't go out, and they stop themselves from going out, And so there are things you can do to really help yourself grow. You just have to be willing. And when you're not willing, be vulnerable to say that. I want to heal, but it's a lot of work. I don't know that I want to put in that work, but I know I have healing to do. Just start there. The first step is admitting it, Vulnerability matters. Call that ass out. Call yourself out, okay? Try that for the next few days and see how it goes. Call yourself out. Any little thing. Anything someone says, anything someone does, just evaluate yourself with kindness. Why did I respond that way? Did that make me uncomfortable? Was that weird? Was that awkward? Was I awkward? Why was I just uncomfortable? Why did my heart just start racing? Ask yourself questions. You want to connect with you more than you think. The way you connect is through vulnerability. The more harsh you are to yourself, the more you're going to expect things from yourself, the more you're going to be hard on yourself, the more you're going to want to show up in a false way. It's not fair to you. Ooh, I could talk because I like this topic. This topic is so near and dear to me because it has set many people free in my life that I've talked to about. And so I felt the need to share. Definitely been poking at sharing this video for a while. I've just been in my own little bubble, but I was like, it's finally time to get the camera out and share. So here I am. Okay, I hope you found this. Whatever you found this, I don't really give a fuck, to be honest, because this is me speaking truthful. It is. If it works for you, great. If it don't, that's okay. Look, hey, take what resonates and leave the rest behind. Or just, you're here for a kiki. You're here to just hear me chat. That's okay. Look, and if while you're at it, you want to subscribe, thank you. If you want to like, comment, share, all that, great. If not, that's okay too. Free will. Mwah, I love it. But all right, this has been good. Until next time. All right, I'll see you soon. Bye, y'all.